Have you ever walked into a room and felt an inexplicable heaviness, as if something invisible was pressing against your skin? Or maybe, after spending time in nature, you suddenly feel renewed, lighter, more alive. These sensations aren't random. They're signals, clues, indications that something far greater than what we can see or measure is at play. There is a force, a silent language, constantly shaping your emotions, your thoughts, even your destiny. And no, this isn't fantasy or fiction. It's a forgotten science, an ancient wisdom hiding in plain sight. What if I told you that every moment of your life, you're surrounded by a field of invisible energy, an energetic ocean that not only responds to your presence, but is also influenced by your every thought and feeling? What you're about to discover isn't new in fact. It's as old as humanity itself. The concept of an invisible energy field has been known across cultures and civilizations for thousands of years. The Hindus call it prana, the Chinese call it qi, and modern science refers to it as the electromagnetic field. Whatever the label, the truth remains: you are not just a body. You are a transmitter and receiver of frequencies, a living magnet drawing experiences into your life based on your internal state. But this field around you doesn't operate randomly. It mirrors the frequencies you emit from your emotions, your intentions, your beliefs. In essence, you are constantly creating reality through the vibration you send into the world. Have you ever felt drained after spending time with someone, even if they didn't say a word? Or noticed how certain places seem to radiate calm, while others make your heart race without reason? This is no coincidence. Your body and mind are intimately attuned to energy. You may not see it, but you feel it every day. That sudden sense of unease before an argument, or the peace that washes over you in moments of solitude, those are not just moods. They are your subtle body responding to unseen vibrations. And the best part, you can learn to read these signs, to understand them, even to shape them. What are your thoughts on this? Have you ever experienced something like this? Let us know in the comments. Modern science is slowly catching up to what mystics have known all along. Hartmouth Institute studies show that the human heart generates a powerful electromagnetic field that can influence others around us. Even NASA acknowledges that the Earth's magnetic field affects our biological systems. Think about that: the same force that holds galaxies together is subtly influencing your mood, your decisions, your destiny. And yet, most people go through life completely unaware of it. But what if you could tune into this field deliberately? What if, instead of being a passive participant, you became the conductor of your own energetic symphony? The implications are nothing short of revolutionary, and this is only the beginning. But here's the catch: this field doesn't just exist around you, it reacts to you. It's shaped by your inner world, your emotions, your consciousness. In fact, it's whispering to the universe on your behalf at all times. When you're angry, it vibrates with chaos. When you're grateful, it radiates harmony. You are constantly sending out signals, like a cosmic radio tower. And the universe, it's always listening. So, let me ask you this: what if you could learn to control it, to harness it, to guide this force instead of being guided by it? Because the truth is, you can. And in the next part of this journey, we're going to explore exactly how. But first, take a breath, feel the energy around you. Because now you know you're not imagining things. You're finally seeing what was always there. What if I told you that every thought you have, every silent word that echoes in your mind isn't just fleeting, but a frequency? That every emotion you feel, whether joy or sorrow, actually imprints itself onto the invisible field around your body. You see, there is a hidden connection between your mental state and the reality you experience. It's not imagination, it's resonance. And whether you realize it or not, you're shaping the world around you through the thoughts you entertain. This isn't a metaphor, it's physics. It's alchemy of the mind. Right now, you're radiating energy. The question is, what are you broadcasting? For centuries, mystics and sages have spoken of the mind's power to influence reality. But today, neuroscience and quantum physics are catching up. Thoughts produce electrical signals in the brain. Emotions trigger magnetic responses in the heart. Together, they create a measurable electromagnetic field that expands several feet beyond your body. This isn't just spiritual theory, it's been captured by scientific instruments. Lao Tse once said, "Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny." It all begins in the mind. Your reality is not something you observe from the outside. It's something you project from within. Have you ever noticed how, when you're anxious or stressed, everything seems to go wrong? As if your inner chaos magnetizes external turbulence. Or how moments of deep gratitude and joy seem to attract synchronicities, unexpected help, even miracles. This isn't coincidence. Your energy field reflects your inner state. Like a mirror to the soul, it reveals your thoughts before you speak them. That sudden sense that someone doesn't feel right, it's your subconscious reading their field. That intuition that something good is about to happen. That's your alignment at work. The question is, have you ever consciously tested this connection? Have you deliberately shifted your thoughts and watched your reality shift with it? Share your experiences in the comments below. They might help someone else awaken. Let's take it deeper. Every thought vibrates. Every emotion radiates. Anger creates chaotic, sharp waves. Love emits coherent, harmonious frequencies. These energetic patterns interact with your environment, attracting or repelling people, opportunities, and experiences. It's like tuning a radio. If you're broadcasting fear, you receive experiences that match that station. But if you switch your internal dial to peace or gratitude, your whole reality begins to tune itself accordingly. This isn't wishful thinking, it's cause and effect. And the most fascinating part, your subconscious is the main transmitter. What you habitually think and feel sets the tone of your life. So by mastering your thoughts, you begin to master the field around you. And that's where transformation begins. But here's the twist: most people believe they're victims of circumstance, unaware that their energy field is shaped by their own thinking. The truth is, your thoughts aren't just mental noise, they're blueprints. Blueprints for the reality you're building. And like a painter with an invisible brush, you're coloring the canvas of your life every moment. If you want to change what you attract, change what you emit. Ancient mystics understood this. They spent lifetimes training the mind, not to control others, but to align with the universal rhythm. And that's exactly where we're headed next. Because yes, your thoughts shape your field. But what if you could use ancient methods to consciously direct it? To become not just a receiver, but a creator? Stay with me. The deeper wisdom is about to unfold. What if the power to shape your world didn't come from force, but from focus? Imagine a time when wise ones didn't just observe energy, they commanded it, not with machines, but with the mind. In temples buried beneath desert sands and mountaintop monasteries cloaked in mist, ancient masters passed down a secret: reality isn't fixed. It bends, and those who mastered their inner world could shape the outer one. This isn't legend, this is forgotten truth. You were never meant to live at the mercy of chance. You were born with the ability to direct energy, to become the eye of the storm, calm, focused, uncheckable. But you must remember what was once known and lost. Across the world, from the Egyptian priesthood to the Himalayan yogis, from the shamans of the Amazon to the Taoist sages of ancient China, a common thread emerges: the cultivation of mental discipline to master energy. These weren't mere rituals. They were technologies of consciousness. The human mind, when refined, becomes a tuning fork for universal forces. In the Hermetic traditions, it was said, as within, so without. The field around you obeys the command of the mind, but only when the mind is still and sovereign. The old ones didn't try to escape reality, they shaped it. They understood that energy follows attention. And attention, when held with unwavering intent, becomes a creative force. Have you ever tried to focus on something deeply and felt time distort, as if the world faded away and only your intention remained? Or perhaps you've had a moment where your clear resolve seemed to make things fall into place with uncanny precision. That's not coincidence. That's latent power stirring. Most people have brief glimpses of this state, but the ancients lived from it. Mental clarity wasn't optional. It was survival. Have you ever had a strong intuitive pull, a gut decision that later proved profoundly correct? That is not luck. It's the result of a mind aligned with the field. Tell us, have you felt these moments of inner knowing or spontaneous manifestation? Share your experience in the comments. You're not alone. The ancients didn't leave behind apps or manuals, they left symbols, myths, and teachings encoded in practices: meditation, visualization, breath control, mantra. Each of these tools was designed to discipline the mind, not suppress it. Because when the mind stops scattering its energy, it begins to direct it. The pineal gland, long dismissed by science, was revered as the seat of the soul by Descartes and activated by ancient mystics to access higher dimensions of thought. Mental control isn't about repression. It's about harnessing. A trained mind doesn't react. It observes, selects, and transmits intention like a laser beam. That's why ancient wisdom and a separated thought from energy. They knew the mind is the first tool of the Creator. But here's the deeper truth: if ancient sages could shape reality with their minds, then what's stopping us? Our biology is the same. What changed is our relationship to the inner world. We traded silence for noise, presence for distraction. But the path back is still open, hidden in plain sight. Your mind is not your enemy, it's your instrument. Sharpen it, and the universe begins to respond. The ancients didn't worship gods outside themselves, they awakened the divine spark within. And now, you're beginning to do the same. So the real question is, will you reclaim that power? Because in the next chapter, we'll uncover the scientific thread that connects this ancient wisdom to the magnetic forces that still shape your field today. What if the force you've felt your entire life, the one that draws people together, repels negativity, and shapes your very state of being, wasn't mystical, but measurable? What if magnetism isn't just a physical phenomenon, but the scientific fingerprint of your energetic reality? You see, every human heart generates a magnetic field. It pulses beyond your skin, reaching meters into space. And it's not silent. It speaks in the language of frequency. This field doesn't just register your emotions, it broadcasts them. In other words, your feelings aren't private, they're magnetic. They radiate outward and influence the world around you. Now, let that sink in. You are constantly shaping your environment. Without saying a word, magnetism is the bridge between science and spirit. While electricity is active, aggressive, linear magnetism is receptive, shaping, and field-based. It mirrors the relationship between mind and emotion, thought and presence. When your heart experiences coherence, that is, when your emotions are calm, grateful, or loving, your magnetic field becomes more organized, harmonious, and strong. This is not theory. It's been studied extensively by institutions like Hartmouth, who show that emotional states alter the quality and shape of the electromagnetic field we emit. The result: your personal energy field acts like a tuning fork, influencing others, affecting space, and synchronizing with larger universal patterns. Magnetism, then, is more than a force. It's your energetic signature. Think about the last time you walked into a room and felt an instant shift. Perhaps someone was angry, and you sensed it without them saying a word. Or maybe you felt calm, just being near a certain person. That wasn't your imagination. It was magnetic interaction. Your body, especially your heart and brain, constantly emits signals. Other people's systems pick them up. You are, quite literally, in conversation with the energy fields of everyone you encounter. Have you ever had the experience of being inexplicably drawn to someone or repelled without reason? That's the language of magnetism at play. It's subtle, but precise. And once you understand it, you begin to realize that the energy you carry is the reality you create. Have you noticed this magnetic effect in your life? Share your experiences in the comments. Here's where it gets truly fascinating. The Earth itself emits a magnetic field, and our bodies are synchronized to it. When you meditate or feel deep appreciation, your heart enters a state called coherence. In this state, your brain waves and heart rhythms synchronize. You become more focused, resilient, and intuitively sharp. But it doesn't stop there. Your magnetic field becomes more structured, more potent. That's why ancient practices emphasized breath, rhythm, and presence not as rituals, but as methods of tuning your frequency. The magnetic field of a person in coherence can influence others, even at a distance. This is why some people light up a room, while others drain it. So imagine what happens when entire groups meditate together, or when your thoughts and emotions are aligned in harmony. You begin to consciously sculpt your magnetic presence. But here's the real revelation: magnetism isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you can design. You are not only a transmitter of emotional frequency, you are its architect. And by cultivating emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and intention, you change the very architecture of your field. The ancients sensed it. Modern science confirms it. Your state of being becomes your gravitational pull. People, events, and opportunities align with your signal. But only when it's coherent. That's the catch. Most people let their field be shaped by reaction, not choice. But now, you know better. Because the next step is no longer just sensing or understanding energy, it's about consciously shaping it. In the next part of our journey, we'll unlock one of the most powerful tools of this mastery, the ancient art of magnetic visualization. What if your imagination wasn't just a tool for daydreaming, but a command interface for reality? What if, with nothing but your breath, your focus, and a single image held in mind, you could begin to reshape your energy field and attract new outcomes into your life? Welcome to magnetic visualization. This isn't wishful thinking. It's an ancient practice that activates the very blueprint of your field. While most people allow their thoughts to drift aimlessly, those who understand this art use the power of mental imagery to direct their energy like a magnet. Visualization is more than fantasy, it's energetic architecture. And in a world of chaos, your inner vision can become the anchor that shapes the external. Magnetic visualization combines focused thought with elevated emotion. The goal isn't just to see something in your mind, it's to feel it so strongly that your field begins to reflect it as if it were already real. Science backs this. The brain doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Neural pathways form, hormonal signals shift, and your body enters alignment with your vision. The ancients knew this. In Egyptian temples, initiates visualized divine light flowing through their bodies. In Taoist practices, inner energy was shaped into symbols, animals, and flows of force. They weren't imagining for fun. They were reprogramming their magnetic resonance. And now you can too. Have you ever closed your eyes and imagined a future moment so clearly you could almost touch it? Or maybe you visualized a conversation, an achievement, or even healing, only to have reality mysteriously begin shifting in that direction. That's not coincidence. That's your field responding to focused energetic design. You may have already used visualization without realizing its full power. Maybe you saw yourself succeeding before a big challenge and felt your confidence soar. Maybe you pictured someone you love and instantly felt warmth in your chest. These aren't mental tricks, they're energetic commands. The real magic begins when you do this consciously, consistently, and with magnetic alignment. Have you had moments where your vision seemed to manifest? Share them in the comments. You might awaken someone else to their power. So how do you practice magnetic visualization Start with stillness. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and bring your attention to your breath. Let the noise of the day fade. Now, visualize not just an image, but an energetic state. Picture yourself surrounded by golden light, radiating love, gratitude, and power. Imagine that this light extends from your heart in every direction, forming a magnetic field that gently pulls in the experiences, people, and opportunities aligned with your vision. The key is coherence. What you see must be paired with what you feel. If you imagine abundance, but feel fear, you scatter the signal. But if you see abundance and feel joy or gratitude, your field aligns. Practice this daily, even for 5 minutes. With time, your energy begins to shift, and reality follows. But here's the deeper truth: visualization isn't just about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you are meant to be. When done properly, it doesn't manipulate the universe, it harmonizes you with it. You begin to radiate a signal that draws life to you, not because you chase it, but because you become it. The ancients saw this as sacred alignment, the meeting point of will, emotion, and energy. You stop reacting, you start creating, and once you understand this power, you can apply it to anything: healing, relationships, purpose, peace. But remember, thoughts are not enough. Emotion is not enough. It is the union of both, held in sacred attention, that activates your true magnetic force. In the next chapter, we'll reveal what truly fuels this force, the alchemy of emotion. Imagine this: your emotions aren't just responses, they're frequencies. Every time you feel, you broadcast. Every joy, every sorrow, every flash of anger or wave of compassion doesn't stay inside you. It radiates, it reshapes your field. And here's the hidden truth: your energy doesn't change by force. It changes through alchemy, the transformation of emotional states into higher frequencies. Think of your inner world as a garden. What you water grows. If you cultivate gratitude, love, and forgiveness, your energy blossoms into magnetic coherence. But if you feed resentment, fear, and shame, your field becomes distorted, fragmented. The great mystics knew this. They didn't fear emotion, they transmuted it. And that is the true art of emotional alchemy. Let's be clear: emotions are not weakness. They are portals, they are energy in motion. The problem isn't that you feel too much, it's that you were never taught how to use what you feel. Emotional alchemy is the sacred science of taking dense, reactive emotions and transmuting them into refined, coherent states. Anger becomes clarity. Grief becomes compassion. Fear becomes presence. It's a process rooted in awareness, breath, and choice. This isn't about suppression. It's about integration. In ancient traditions, especially in Taoism and Hermetic philosophy, mastering emotion was seen as the highest form of internal discipline. Because your emotional frequency doesn't just influence your mood, it shapes your magnetic field and with it, your destiny. Have you ever noticed how a moment of deep gratitude can shift your entire day? Or how, even in pain, the decision to forgive brings an unexpected lightness to your chest? That's not psychological trickery, that's energy transmutation. Have you felt heavy after an argument, like your field had been drained or disrupted? These sensations are real. Your body and energy field are listening to every emotion you feel. The question is, are you reacting to your emotions, or are you working with them? Have you ever had a moment when choosing peace felt like a turning point, when a breath, a pause, a choice to love instead of retaliate changed everything? Share your experience below. Others may find themselves in your story. So how do you begin the practice of emotional alchemy? Start by witnessing without judgment. When an emotion arises, don't fight it, feel it, observe it. Ask, what message is this energy carrying? Then breathe into it. The breath is the alchemist's tool. It moves energy from the reactive mind into the present body. Next, name the emotion. Naming brings awareness. Awareness breaks patterns. Finally, offer it a new shape. Visualize anger melting into understanding, fear into golden light. Speak to yourself with compassion. This pain is here to show me something deeper. Daily journaling, meditation, and heart-centered breathing help refine this practice. With time, you'll no longer be tossed by emotional storms. You'll become the stillness in their center. Here's the revelation most people never hear: your emotional frequency is the most powerful architect of your field. Thoughts spark change. Visualization directs it, but it is feeling that fuels it. Emotion is the carrier wave that sends your intentions into the quantum sea. That's why love, gratitude, compassion, and forgiveness are not just noble ideals, they're energetic technologies. They elevate your vibration and restructure your field to match your highest potential. This is why true spiritual power has nothing to do with control, and everything to do with coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are aligned, you don't chase transformation, you become it. And in the next chapter, we will explore the gateway to that harmony, the deep inner resonance we call inner harmony. What if your greatest power wasn't found in effort or striving, but in harmony? Imagine waking each day not feeling pulled in every direction, but rooted, centered, flowing. Inner harmony isn't passive peace, it's energetic precision. It's the alignment of your mind, heart, and body in a single coherent state. When that happens, something miraculous occurs. Your energy field begins to hum with a stable frequency, and the chaos of the world no longer throws you off balance. You become the stillness amidst the storm, the silent force that influences reality simply by being. The ancients described this state as divine alignment. And today, we are remembering what they knew, that inner harmony is not a luxury, it's the key to conscious creation. Inner harmony means that your thoughts are clear, your emotions are calm, and your body is in rhythm with the breath of life. It's a state where you're not just reacting to life, but participating with it from a place of intention. Practices like meditation, breathwork, mindfulness, and self-love aren't trendy habits, they are the ancient pathways to this state. When you meditate, you quiet the noise of the mind. When you breathe consciously, you synchronize your heart. When you practice self-acceptance, you release inner resistance. The result: your energy becomes magnetic, balanced, and whole. You stop sending mixed signals to the universe. And when your inner world is clear, the outer begins to reflect it like a polished mirror. Have you ever experienced a moment of pure inner stillness? Perhaps while walking in nature, watching the ocean, or holding someone you love. That feeling of timelessness, of expansion, of perfect peace, that is the taste of inner harmony. It may have lasted a moment, but in that moment, everything was in tune. And you weren't just calm, you were aligned. Have you also noticed how, during those times, life seemed to flow? Doors opened, synchronicities happened, clarity emerged. This isn't random. It's the power of coherence. Have you had an experience where your inner peace changed the energy of those around you? Share your story in the comments. These moments are reminders of what's possible. To cultivate inner harmony, you don't need to withdraw from the world, you need to return to your center within it. Begin with breath, slow. Intentional breathing brings the nervous system into balance. Practice mindfulness, become aware of your thoughts without judgment. Notice the emotional currents beneath your daily actions. And most of all, practice radical self-acceptance. Harmony doesn't mean perfection. It means integration. You make peace with the shadow, honor your emotions, and stay anchored in presence. Ancient disciplines like Qigong and heart rhythm meditation were designed for this exact purpose. They balanced the flow of energy within the body, allowing your field to become stable, smooth, and strong. A person in inner harmony becomes a tuning fork for others, resonating peace into every space they enter. But here's the key: inner harmony is not the end. It is the threshold. When you reach this state, you stop resisting the flow of life. You begin to move with it. You enter what the Taoists called Wu Wei, the state of effortless action, the sacred dance with the universe. It is here that true transformation begins when you are no longer fragmented within. The universe no longer reflects fragmentation without. Instead, you begin to live in rhythm with something vast, intelligent, and loving. And that's where we're going next. Because harmony is the doorway, but the real magic unfolds when you surrender into the flow. In the next chapter, we step into that flow fully, guided by the ancient wisdom of Tao, the art of non-resistance and divine timing. What if the most powerful way to act was to stop forcing? What if true mastery isn't about control, but about trust? In ancient China, the sages of the Tao didn't seek to conquer the world. They sought to move with it. They called this principle Wu Wei non-doing, non-resistance. But make no mistake, this is not about laziness or inaction. It's about intelligent flow. It's about becoming so attuned to the rhythm of the universe that your actions arise effortlessly, like water finding its path. Wu Wei is the art of doing without striving, of allowing the natural unfolding of life while remaining completely present. And in a world obsessed with control, this forgotten wisdom may be the key to your true power. Wu Wei teaches us that when we resist life, we create friction. But when we flow with it, we access synchronicity, grace, and effortless momentum. It is not passivity, it is perfect timing. The river doesn't push against the rock, it flows around it. And over time, it shapes even the hardest stone. Likewise, when we let go of the need to force outcomes, and instead align with the deeper intelligence of the universe, we become part of a much greater choreography. Taoism views this as a sacred dance one, where the ego steps aside and the deeper self begins to lead, breath by breath, step by step. Wu Wei is the stillness in movement. It is presence in action. Have you ever noticed how, when you're in flow, things just happen? The right people appear. Answers arrive without effort. Doors open that you didn't even know were there. That's not coincidence. That's Wu Wei in motion. Maybe you've had a moment where you surrendered a problem, and suddenly the solution came. Or a time when forcing something only created stress, but letting go brought peace and clarity. These aren't accidents, they're signals. Signs that there is a deeper current moving through your life. And when you trust it, you enter the stream of synchronicity. Have you experienced these moments? When letting go felt more powerful than holding on? Tell us in the comments below. To practice Wu Wei is to begin listening deeply. Start by observing where you resist life. Where do you tighten? Where do you cling? Notice how your body responds to control versus surrender. Then bring awareness to your breath. Let it guide you. In Taoist traditions, breath is the bridge between effort and flow. The more relaxed and natural your breath, the more open your field becomes to universal guidance. Next, practice small acts of allowing. If something doesn't work, pause. If a situation feels forced, step back. Trust that the delay is divine. Over time, you will begin to sense the deeper timing of work in your life. Intuition strengthens. Decisions become clearer. Energy moves freely. You stop chasing and start attracting. Here's the paradox: by doing less, you allow more to happen. Wu Wei is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the understanding that you are not separate from life's intelligence, you are it. When you move from this state, you become like nature itself, powerful, graceful, unstoppable. And here is where true freedom begins. Because the more you release resistance, the more your energy harmonizes with the flow of creation. Your field becomes one with the field. But what happens when we go even deeper, when we not only flow with the universe, but realize that we are the universe? In our next and most profound revelation, we step into the truth of unity consciousness, where separation dissolves, and the whole awakens within you. What if you were never truly separate, not from the sky, not from the sea, not even from the people you think of as other? What if the boundaries between you and the world were illusions, thin veils drawn by the mind? In the deepest layers of mystical and philosophical traditions, one truth repeats again and again: you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a single drop. This isn't poetic metaphor. It's a spiritual revelation. Welcome to the awareness of unity, the moment when the seeker realizes that the light they were chasing has always been shining from within. When the field you thought you were shaping is actually shaping you, because there is no you apart from it. From the Vedas of India to the quantum realms of modern physics, the insight is echoed: all is one. In the tradition of Advaita Vedanta, the mantra Tattvamasi means that thou art, you are not just part of the divine, you are it. In Buddhism, Indra's net symbolizes a universe where every point reflects every other, a cosmic web of endless interconnection. Even science, through quantum entanglement, reveals that particles once connected remain connected, regardless of distance. This isn't mysticism versus materialism. It's convergence. It's the understanding that beneath all matter and form, there is one field, one presence, one consciousness, observing itself through infinite eyes, including yours. Have you ever had a moment in nature, in silence, or in awe when your sense of self dissolved? When you didn't feel like a person looking at a sunset, but like you were the sunset itself? Or perhaps a moment when love became so overwhelming, it broke down every barrier between you and another being. That is unity consciousness. You may have glimpsed it during meditation, a deep emotional connection, or even in a moment of crisis when the ego collapsed and something greater emerged. These moments aren't accidents, they are reminders. Truth peeking through the cracks. Have you ever felt this dissolving of separation? This merging with everything? Tell us in the comments. Your story could awaken someone else. To embody unity is to live from presence. To look into another's eyes and see yourself. To walk through the world not as a stranger in a hostile place, but as a wave returning to the ocean. This doesn't mean losing individuality, it means seeing through it. Unity consciousness is not a thought, it is a state of being. You don't achieve it through effort, you remember it. Practices like deep meditation, heart-centered prayer, service, and loving kindness dissolve the illusion of separateness. The more you recognize the divine in all things, in the pain, in the beauty, in the mundane, the more your field synchronizes with the rhythm of totality. You begin to radiate a peace that goes beyond understanding, and your very presence becomes healing. Here is the final unveiling: the universe is not outside you. It is within you. You are not a fragment, you are the fractal. The field you've learned to shape, the energy you've learned to guide, the emotions you've alchemized, they were never separate tools. They were extensions of the one essence, playing the game of form. And now, you remember, you are light, you are love. You are the stillness behind all movement, the silence beneath all sound. You are the universe, waking up to itself. And from this awareness, a new way of being emerges, one where compassion is natural, forgiveness is easy, presence is constant. And from here, we take our final step into the world, into the everyday, into living this truth, not just knowing it. Because the greatest miracle of all, it is this: when you embody unity, you become a beacon. Now that you know who you truly are, what will you do with it? Enlightenment isn't meant to be locked away in silence. It's meant to shine, to reach others, to ripple outwards in quiet, transformative waves. Becoming a lighthouse isn't about preaching or convincing, it's about radiating. In a world of noise, your presence becomes a sanctuary. In a time of fear, your peace becomes a signal. And in the darkness of confusion, your clarity becomes a beacon. The true test of your awakening isn't how much you know, but how deeply you live it. And that journey begins not on a mountaintop, but in your everyday life. Living as a lighthouse means embodying light, love, and awareness in the simple moments. It means choosing compassion when it would be easier to judge. It means listening with your whole being, even when you have the perfect answer ready. It means pausing to breathe before reacting. These aren't grand gestures, they're small, sacred acts that, together, shape a magnetic field of coherence that heals. This isn't about perfection. It's about intention. The energy you carry becomes your message. Your presence becomes your teaching. As you walk through life with conscious grace, you give silent permission for others to do the same. You become the mirror in which others remember their own light. Have you ever had someone tell you that just being around you made them feel calm, or that your words came at just the right moment? Perhaps you've smiled at a stranger and seen them light up, or comforted someone without needing to say a thing. These are not small things. These are transmissions. You've already been a lighthouse, maybe without realizing it. And the more you live from love, presence, and inner stillness, the stronger your field becomes. This is how change happens, not through force, but through resonance. Have you ever experienced this ripple effect? A moment where your energy lifted someone else? Share your story in the comments. Your light might spark another. So how do you become a lighthouse intentionally? Start by anchoring your daily life in awareness. Begin your mornings with silence, even just a few minutes to connect to your breath, your heart, your intention. Throughout your day, bring mindful pauses. Before speaking, ask, does this reflect the light I want to share? Before acting, check, is this aligned with love or fear? Cultivate practices that strengthen your field: journaling, energy cleansing, meditation, gratitude rituals. And most importantly, forgive often, freely, yourself and others. Forgiveness dissolves emotional blocks and restores energetic clarity. Being a lighthouse is not about having all the answers. It's about being available, present, and open. It's about shining through the challenges, not beyond them. And now, the truth that completes our journey: the world doesn't need more knowledge, it needs more light. And you, in your humanity, in your struggle, in your awakening, are the perfect vessel for it. Every act of love you choose, every breath of presence you take, every time you forgive, you change the field, not just yours, but the collective one. You become a silent lighthouse, guiding others not by direction, but by example. And that is your gift. That is your purpose. So walk through life now with open eyes and an open heart. Carry this awareness like a flame. Be bold in your stillness. Be generous with your light. And remember, the smallest light, held steadily, can guide ships through the darkest storms. Have you already felt this shift in yourself? Have you experienced moments where your presence made a difference in someone's life? Share your story in the comments below. It might be the spark someone else needs. If this journey resonated with you, subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next unfolding of this sacred path. Together, we are more than viewers. We are a field, a movement, a lighthouse network of souls awakening.